Canadian Top 20 hosted by Adam Wilde, sitting with two of the guys from Marianas Trench.
Adam Wilde, I like that guy.
Do you?
I have a bet going with him.
Really? What bet?
I do. I'm in Toronto, so everyone's going to hate me, but I bet him a $100 steak dinner that Montreal is going to finish higher in the standings than the Maple Leafs.
Uh-oh.
Wow, those are fighting. Really, dude? Did you just say that?
I did. I just did.
How did you guys even go about putting this album together? It's a concept album, so where does that come from, and how do you string it all together?
Well, first Josh went crazy,
Okay.
and then it all came about.
And we're still recovering.
Oh, God.
I had the idea before we did our first album, even. I sort of was like, it would be cool if we did a record where it was just one song. Like, it was still 10 songs, 12 songs, whatever it is, but each song would lead into the next one and there would be no breaks. And I was like, that's a cool idea. We'll do that at some point. And when we did the first record, like, I wasn't anywhere near ready to try and write something like that. And then the second album, we sort of, I played with the idea for a second and then was like, nah, I'm not there. And then the third album, I really wanted to do it. I was like, okay, if we're gonna do it, let's do it. And I want it to really feel like one long thing. No silences on the record. Everything leads to the next. It'll play like one track. And then I wasn't sure if I could do it. So actually, what I did is then I tweeted and did a couple of interviews where I was like, the whole song is one record and it's awesome. And I hadn't done it yet.
Oh my God.
But I just did it. But I just did it in a couple of interviews because I was like, well, now I've said it. I can't not do it. But I basically wanted, like, I really wanted to do it. So I said it in a couple of big interviews first so that I knew I couldn't back out of it, because I knew if push came to shove and the deadline was around the corner that we could, if no one knew about it, I could totally see myself being like, well, we never told you when we were going to do it. Let's just scrap that part. But once it's out there, then it's out there, right? So
you guys are already out on tour with Simple Plan.
Yep.
What do you miss most about home when you're out on the road for this long?
Home.
Is there like a place you like to go or something you like to do when you're there that sort of, when you get home, that you're like, oh, I'm back now?
Well, you don't eat well on the road, which is,
man.
You can't because, well, you can, but
it's really challenging.
it's hard because of the time, you know what I mean? And you're on a bus, and like after the show, the bus has to pull out at a certain time, but you have certain engagements or interviews or press or this or that before, so you always need something fast. And
so it's pizza or it's whatever.
I ate so much pizza this last tour. It was just like, gross. And I was just, what is color? I didn't know what green or red or anything healthy was. So, like, eating decent food is probably one of the number one things I miss.
I miss, like, not having a suitcase.
Oh, like having a dresser?
Yeah, man. Like,
or a hanger.
Dude, you're living out of a suitcase all the time. And just, like, a bed. Like, I hate sleeping on a bus. I hate it.
Yep.
I'm 6'2", and the bunk on those buses is 6 feet. I know that you know what, people at home, this is like total like first world problems, and I realize, I'm sorry, I hate to sound like a whiny douchebag.
Yeah, with like this last tour too, what was really hard is we didn't really have many days off, and then we had one day off, which was in this town called Santa Rosa, which was about 1,200 people.
If that.
There were 2 restaurants.
Tell them what restaurants.
Denny's and Dairy Queen.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And there was one hotel. And we were going from Vegas to Texas. So we really only had one option because in between there wasn't really much.
No, there isn't.
So your one day off was that.
Hell of a day off, though.
And then the next time
I saw a real tumbleweed.
Yeah. We had another day off it was American Thanksgiving, and it was in Buffalo. So we're like, oh, okay, we can go to Buffalo, or, whatever. We can go to a mall or see a movie. But absolutely everything was for real closed. Like McDonald's was closed.
Yeah.
We were laughing because our bus was parked outside a hotel, and we were just we were excited because we were like, oh, let's go get some McDonald's for breakfast. Of course, healthy, nutritious meal. Yeah. And then we saw like a good 500 people go through the drive-through that day. Of all were like, they would look and try and talk into the. It was just comedy.
They all the same idea.
Yeah, they're all trying to talk into the thing and no one's there, and then they drive around to the window and no one's there. But like when you're
So
busy
basically,
every
how awesome our day is when
Yeah.
that was the highlight.
but every day, like we're just busy every day, like press, show, and then you have your days off. One is in a town where there is really nothing, and the other is in a town where nothing's open.
Plus, we have to learn how to play the album. So
Yeah.
in time off, we're trying to figure out how to play the songs.
And I for sure, I always like 2 days into a tour, I don't know what day it is.
What are you guys going to do over the holidays? Do you get a break at all, or are you touring straight through? Or
No, we just have to shoot a video for Fallout, and then we're pretty much done.
Yeah, we got to do some press, and I think a day of press in Vancouver, and then we shoot the video for Fallout on the 15th, and then
Then we're off.
yeah, we're off. The rest of us are really gonna try and make sure we have all the songs down hard, so that when we come back to rehearse, it can get everything up really quick. And then, other than that, I think we're going to Korea in January.
have you been
January? Nope, haven't been there yet.
That's
Somewhere
crazy.
around like the 25th, 26th.
there? Yeah.
And then we start the Canadian leg of the Simple Plan tour in February.
Well, guys, I really want to thank you for coming in and talking to us today.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks
Thank
for
you for
having
having
us.
us.